Alright guys, so welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to show you my practice round at the qualifying school in Holledau in Germany. So basically it took us about 4 to 5 hours to get there, and you get to do a practice round, and then there's the first round and the second round for the tournament. Alright, so this first hole is a par 4 dogleg left. There are some trees in the way. You can choose to hit a driver or an iron. If you hit a driver, you have to cut through the trees and you have to hit like a really high shot. So I opted for a 3-iron and just try to stay on the right of the trees. Unfortunately, this 3-iron here, I got it a little bit too much to the right, so that's gonna leave me out like a very long shot to the green for my second shot. So I pushed that to the right, and here I have like 220 yards, 230 yards actually. It was downhill, so I grabbed my 4-iron, and I didn't want to miss it to the right. You see all those trees, there's out of bounds there. So I kind of just hit this really soft and let the run down the fairway. So it was short of the green, but at least it gave me a chance for a chip. One thing that I noticed about these greens is that they're really receptive. So once they hit, they're gonna stick. And I noticed that a lot of people play like really low shots here. So unfortunately, I got this really short. So basically that left me with about like a 25 footer. I read this pretty good, but unfortunately I pulled this one to the left side. I was just still trying to get used to the greens. I guess they were pretty good, but it wasn't. I just pulled it. So I started with a bogey there, guys. Okay, so this next hole is a dogleg ride, and you have to hit like a cut with a driver to those trees there, or hit like a long iron like I'm doing here. So I grab my 3-iron. I'm just gonna stay on the left side of those trees there and just approach the green. So I hit this pretty good, and that's gonna leave me out with like an 8-iron to the green. Okay, so this left me out with about 155 yards. I used my 8-iron, but I think I should have used my 7 because I hit this short. I probably miscalculated the distance because it kind of goes downhill, but then it goes uphill again. So you have to be careful with that shot. If you play this shot at this course, it's better to hit it a little longer. Okay, so this left me with like probably 15 yards, but then again, the greens are really receptive. So when they hit the greens, when the ball hits the green, it's just gonna stop. So I have to play it a little lower than that, and it was a good line. It's just it checked up really fast. So that left me with a little, it was like probably like a 6-footer, 7-footer, slightly uphill. Like I was saying, it just checked up on me. It didn't run out, and the greens were pretty good, I have to be honest. And I was putting okay on the practice round, but this one I kind of just slightly pushed it to the right. So bogey. Okay, so hole 3 is dogleg left. Is very tricky. You see those trees there in the back? That's like 230 yards. So here basically you have to just lay up. You can't go for the green. You have to use a long iron, and you have to get it high enough so you can have a shot to the green. So I used my 3-iron here, and I was just aiming at those trees right there so I can have a second shot clear to the green. And this shot was pretty good. It's just I lost it a little bit to the right, so it's gonna be on the rough, but it was a pretty good shot. Okay, so here I basically had like 110 yards. I used my 52-degree wedge, and I miscalculated this one. I think I didn't take account for the slope there. It was a great line, so it was very unfortunate because it would have gone right to the flag, but it was just short of the green. So as you can see that I was short of the green. It was a great line, and I think I was just scared to go to the back, because if you go long on this hole, then it's pretty much dead. So unconsciously you get scared of the shots and you kind of slow down, and that's what happened to me. So I decided to putt this ball because the grass is really tight there, so I didn't want to like chip it And this was I think it was a great putt here. It's a great line, and that just gave me like a gimme par there. So it was my first par on the practice round, so I was happy about that, and it was just a tap in. Okay, so this next hole basically is a drivable par four. Is 300 yards, but it's downhill. So a lot of people play driver here. I think you should. I did play driver on the next two rounds that I had, not on the practice round. So I was just testing it out. I was being a little bit too conservative. So I played 3 iron here, and so basically just lay up to have about like 100 yards or a little less to the green here. So I hit this pretty good, a little bit on the right side, but it was a pretty easy shot. So unfortunately, for some reason, the second shot wasn't recorded, but I basically pulled it a little bit to the left. It was about like 100 yards, and now I was left with this putt from outside the green, but it was cut really tight around it, so I decided to putt this one. And this one was had a little slope on it. So basically, I had to hit it just slightly to the right of the flag there, of the pin, and I overread it a little bit too much. So you have to be careful on greens like this when they are really slopey. You have to read it really good. So as you can see there, I hit this a little bit too much to the right there, and then it didn't break. So that left me with just a little tester for par there. So I've been working a lot with my putting and just taking my time and trying to get the club face just straight and take it back and through. So this was a pretty good putt to save par. So that got me 2 pars in a row, and I was quite happy about that. Okay, so this next hole is par 3. It's about, everything was in meters, unfortunately, but it's about like 155 meters. So that's like 165, but it was downhill. So here I did not calculate the slope very well. I decided to play a 9, but it wasn't a 9. It was a full 8 actually. So this, you have to be careful on holes like this where they're sloped down a lot, because a lot of times you think that there's, you have to hit like 2 clubs less, but in this case it was just 1 club less. So it was a great line, unfortunately, here too, and it was just short. So basically that left me with like 10-yard chip. Again, here you have to be a little more aggressive on greens like this because they're really fast and they're really receptive, or you have to hit it like really low. So I was keep hitting it just a little bit too high. So my advice would be on greens like that to keep it low. Nevertheless, this one was pretty good. So it was just like probably like a 3-footer. So I just went through my routine and I was just trying to just hit it, tap it in basically, and there wasn't much break on it. So it was a pretty simple putt, I would say. But I would just recommend hitting it a little lower on those chips. All right, so this next hole is a very tough hole. It's 399 meters, so I think that's like 430 or 40 yards. And you can't really, it's a par 4, and you can't really like hit driver because it runs out like at 230 yards there on the trees on the left side. So you have to cut a little bit. I had my 3-iron, and this probably was one of my best shots here. It was a little risky, but I hit this flush pretty good. So took my line a little bit aggressive, but it worked out pretty good. Just went a little bit over there, those trees, and I cut pretty good. And it's still gonna leave me like 200 yards to the green though. So basically here I had 200 yards to the green. There is out to the left and right, so that's why it was one of the trickiest hole. I was just focused on just hitting it straight. I didn't really want to deal with any trouble here. So I grabbed my 4-iron, and my main goal was to make good contact and just hit it straight. And I did that okay. It just went slightly to the left, but it wasn't, it was a little short of the green. It was wet. And then again, on these chips right here, I figured out, unfortunately, at the end, but you have to keep them low because the green is just gonna check up on you. and I hit this okay. It was gonna leave me out again another long putt, probably like 10 footer, but I should have played it a little low. So let the green work. So that left me with about, it looks like closer than that, but it is actually like a 12 footer here. Because basically on these greens, the ball is gonna just check up on you. And so here, I just have to hit a good one. Went to my routine, and unfortunately, this one I kind of like pushed it slightly, I believe. It wasn't a bad putt, but it was just actually I pulled it a little. So this is gonna give me a bogey, so 3 over par so far. Okay, so this is a par five, first par five actually. It's a driver hole or an iron shot actually, because it's a tricky par five. You can see trees to the right, trees to the left. So you have to really be careful with this shot right here. I was a little nervous because I didn't know if my driver was, I've been working on my driver a lot, but I recommend here probably hitting like a 3 iron and just lay up. So I hit this okay, I believe, which is slightly to the right, and that's gonna basically, I'm gonna be hitting from the rough there, and the rough there was it was wet, so it's gonna be a difficult layup shot. So as you can see here, the rough is a little wet because of rain, and basically there's a creek like right in front of the like 60 yards from the green or 70 yards from the green, so it has to be a layup. And I was just trying to lay up but not get it in the creek there. So this was actually like a 5 iron, and I hit this pretty good, but it took off a lot of distance from the rough. So that's gonna leave me 140 yards. I'm in the fairway, but you see those trees in the back. That kind of like got me off a little bit, because I either had to hit like a full 140 to the pin, or hit an 8 iron because it's a little bit uphill. So I kind of like slowed down a little bit. I was scared of like hitting it long, and unfortunately it was the opposite. I didn't hit it long, it was short. Okay, so a little short of the green. You can see those trees where I was scared to hit it long. So another little chip here. I was missing a lot of greens, and I was chipping pretty good, but not the best. This was pretty good. It was about like probably 5 feet. So actually, it was more than 5 feet. It was like probably 6, 7 feet. So I wasn't happy with that because I was barely, I just barely missed the green. It needed to be a better chip. And what I was doing is I was hitting a little bit too high. I needed to utilize the green a little more. So this left me with this putt. But the good thing, it was just pretty straight really on this green right here. So, but I would like to be a little closer to the hole. So I lined up for this hole, for this putt right here, and I was just trying to keep my head still and see if I can save par here. And I actually did. I saved par, so I was happy about that. Okay, so this is one of the toughest par threes. It's like 220 yards, slightly uphill. You got trees to the right, trees to the left. This has to be a good shot, and the green is really difficult. It slopes down. So I grab a 3 iron, and I know that if I hit a good shot, it's barely gonna make it to the green. So I caught this just slightly fat, and it was just slightly short of the green. But I knew that I basically didn't have any other club. I didn't have like a hybrid or anything like that. So you can see there, basically there's a big mount, and if you don't carry that, it's just gonna come down. So it was a pretty good tee shot. I just needed to carry this on the mount there, and this one was a good. I will have to say for that for this green, it was a good shot. The only problem that this is gonna leave me with like a downhill putt, so I have to be not too greedy to save par, but I have to be just a little bit aggressive enough to save par. So it was a tough putt, I have to say. So I line up pretty good here, and I was just trying to not to get too greedy because I didn't want to have the ball keep rolling down either. So you notice that I barely hit that ball right there, and unfortunately I missed it, but just a touch. So bogey on this hole, and I'm 4 over overall. All right, so this is hole number 9. It's 403 meters, so that's like 400 and probably 30 yards. It goes up and then it goes down. There is some space on the right side. I wasn't aware of this. I was trying to just hit like a nice draw. You do have trees on the right and on the left, so you have to be very careful here. If you're long, you can carry the mount, and then the ball will just basically roll up really short to the green. So I was trying to play like a little draw here, and this right here, I overcooked it, so it went straight to those trees right there on the left side. Okay, so this was probably my best shot of the day. It was my best chip out. I grabbed a 4-iron. Initially, I just wanted to chip out towards the green, and like I mentioned, it's downhill. So I kind of like play like half swing there, and I got there so clean, and it went like really like towards the fringe of the green. So basically that just left me with probably like a 30-footer to the hole there. I was quite happy though, because I was basically in the branches, and I have a potential putt at birdie here. Still 4 over par. So I was just trying to, get it close there, not too greedy either, because the greens were quite fast too. So I lined up for this putt. It was slightly uphill, and this was I think it was a decent putt here. It was just a little, yeah, it was a little short. I was a little scared of getting it to pass the hole. So it wasn't a gimme here, so had to stay focused for this one right here. And fortunately, I got this in, had a good. I was putting pretty good on that day, so I ended up the front 9 with 4 over par. It was decent, I guess. I missed a few putts there, but then I saved some putts. So overall, from the back tees, I think it was a good result. Guys, stay tuned for part 2 on the back 9. I will publish it in another week, and hopefully this can help some players who are participating to the qualifying school. I did notice that there was no videos on the actual hole, so hopefully this can be helpful to them. Guys, don't forget to subscribe and leave a like, and stay tuned for part 2. Thanks for watching, guys. Until next time.